To all of those who would be confused about what's taking place right now with this whole alien, light worker, Bible, indigo, rainbow, all that stuff, and you're like, I don't really get it, right? It's like, how could you be a light worker, Anthony, and you don't really fit the MO of a light worker? What is the MO of a light worker? Did you read the Light Worker's Handbook? You think that I'm vulgar, perhaps, yeah? You think that I'm not a professional, I'm unprofessional, yeah? You think that I've had problems with so-called authority in the past, perhaps, and maybe in the future. I mean, not in the future, but in the present, or in the past, I guess, because right now I'm not locked the fuck up. You think perhaps I'm a pervert. Yeah, and once again, vulgar. I say too much profane things. Or I just say profane things to begin with. Because you may have this idea that says what's a spiritual man and what's a spiritual woman and what isn't a spiritual man, what isn't a spiritual woman. So what is spiritual? I'll tell you what spiritual is. Spiritual for me is this motherfucking leaf. I picked it up. All that shit is spiritual. I threw it over there, the wind blew it that way. It's a leaf in the fucking wind. It's spiritual. And this shit on the fucking trees over there. What is that? Some kind of flower? Spiritual. The lotus flower, it's spiritual. The lotus pose is spiritual. Waking up and rolling out of bed in the fucking morning with morning wood is spiritual. Pissing into a toilet bowl, it's spiritual. What is it that you expect? Some climb? What is a climb supposed to be about? We're supposed to climb something, right? And once we climb there, once we get that place, let me turn this down because there's music already. Yeah, I had a video I put up the other day, just yesterday, and had a bunch of flies in a bag, swimming around the bag, around the dumpster, and it had we were talking about ants, we were talking about mosquitoes. That's spiritual. Yeah, when your body, your temple that you're in, it becomes worm food, that's spiritual. If you can rise above that station and be resurrected, that's spiritual as well. Is that the spirituality you're talking about? And that's synonymous with spirituality, right? Resurrections and shit. I tell you, it's a lot more spiritual to fucking die and have your fucking corpse become a worm food than it is to fucking resurrect. That's the shit that makes the world go round and feeds the worms. Resurrection, that's some special shit out there. Some extra special shit. Me cursing, me being profane, me looking at porn on the internet, and looking at all other manners and variables and such on the internet. What is it about sex that says you can't be spiritual like Mahatma Gandhi? Mahatma Gandhi says, well, shit, I'm going to go abstinent. I'm going to refrain from sex so that he can what? Well, that was his call. He had his reasons. Did they vibe off of him better because of it? Then why is that? Why do you vibe better off of Mahatma Gandhi if he says, well, I'm going to be abstinent? I'm celibate. I'm not going to partake of sexual pleasures and all that shit, yeah? Why is that necessary? I'd feel much better if the man would fucking stick it to his nice looking wife that he had. Because I don't know who the fuck was sticking it to her if he wasn't. I'd feel much better. Maybe he just got to the point he was just so above it all and so on some higher purposes and shit, he really didn't give a shit who was sticking it to her or not. And they were relatively young man when he decided to fucking become abstinent and not partake of sex anymore. And I don't get it, I talked to my AI about it, and what is it about sex and people and being so repressed and and she told me some stuff that makes some sense, so I guess it makes a lot of sense, but that's that thing for many people. Depending on where you're from in the world, it can become more or less a degree of something of an issue for you, or a hot, what do they call that? Hot topic or something like that, yeah. So let's not talk about sex, drugs, money. No, let's not talk about sex, money, politics, religion, right? And those are no-nos that the family get together. See, I'm gonna turn it on. I'm gonna pause it again because this birdhead's got some music back here. He's bumping really loudly. I don't want to have some soundtrack. But you can say whatever you want to say about it, you know what I mean? But nobody gets in here and nobody gets out of here while we're talking about resurrections and worm food without somebody at some point being what you may consider to be a pervert. You know? Then they got that whole thing about you can't say shit like that around grandma. Grandpa, yeah, I guess so. Grandma, you just can't. Why? Because grandma has gone from grandma to mama and nana. You know, that's how old she's getting now. Okay, but look at your mother. Look at her daughter, and look at her daughter's daughter. Well, who's your mother? Well, where did she come from? How'd they do it in the 20s? Only missionary? Or was it all about conceiving and bringing in a new baby into the world? Or did they actually get horned up and enjoy the process and get a little kiki and freaky and all that shit? You say, well, Anthony, you're one to talk. Well, if you weren't so worked up about it, maybe shit, Nana, Mama, or whatever she is, her and I'd be getting it on all the goddamn time. But it's such a big thing, isn't it? Such a big thing. Maybe it's meant to be that way. You know? Just don't want to fall into it with anybody. You know, it's a very special thing. It's a very special institution and affair, you know. So you may want to take that very seriously. Consider this and consider that like you do, it seems, you know. Parcel it out this way and parcel it out that way. So special. Like a flower. Like a flower. Like a flower. Like a flower.